Hey there, what is going on YouTube? Welcome to Have Knife Day, and today we're going to take a closer look at the Emerson CQC9K. Now this is one of the larger Emerson design Kershaws that are out there, and it's been out for a while. I will share my opinions and experiences and whether or not I would pick up another one. So, to get us started, let's check out some dimensions. As I said, it's a pretty good sized knife. So your blade length, let's see here, is about 3 3/4 with almost 3 3/4 of cutting. Your overall length is just about 8 3/4 with a handle length of just over 5 and a grip area of about 4. Probably 3.5 if you go in the middle here, but you can put your fingers out there as well. Your pinky out there for sure. Let's see what it weighs. It's chunky, but not too chunky. Real chunky, actually. 6.5 ounces, so yeah, it's a hoss. It's a steel frame look. What do you expect? How about some size comparisons? I'll do the PM2 at 8 1/4, and we will do the Delica at 7 1/8. So bigger than both, more cutting than both, weighs a lot. And you know what? I bet this thing together, this thing by itself weighs what these two together. I got a theory. I should probably just write down what these two weigh together. Yeah, this weighs about 0.4 ounces more than what these two weigh. So, yeah. How's it going to sit in the pocket? Well, like that. It doesn't have a deep carry clip, but then again, neither do these. The one thing they did emphasize on this knife is they emphasized the lanyard placement, the lanyard hole placement over where the pocket clip should go. Kind of a bummer. So it's going to sit like this in the pocket. A little bit more narrow than the PM2, about the same as the Delica, thicker and heavier than both, longer than both. So, what do you got for materials? You have a coated, and that's as far as they tell you, a coated 8CR13 MOV blade. You have a thick G10 scale over a stainless liner with a G10 backspacer and a stainless frame lock. You have a pocket clip that is reversible to the other side. Standard stainless hardware. So that brings us to a hardware check. What are you going to take it apart with? Standard bits. You can take that apart with a standard flat and a standard Phillips. These are probably smaller than a standard number 2 Phillips. And this flat, as long as you have a medium-sized flat blade screwdriver, you're going to be just fine. Same holds true at the back side. You have standard Phillips hardware in the back as well as the pocket clip, so it stayed true to that design. Another thing about this pocket clip is this is a pretty standard 3-hole pattern, so you can put other pocket clips on here from, say, MXG gear or MX gear, Lynch USA. They have pocket clips for this, and then there's a plethora of overseas-made pocket clips that would fit this. So if you don't like this pocket clip, no worries. You can put a different one on there. So definitely hardware definitely holds true to the Emerson design. How's the action? It's pretty good. The thumb disc works pretty good. Obviously the wave feature works great. This is one of the only knives I've ever seen that the actual wave is hidden when you open it. And during my collection video I was kind of joking around going, oh yeah, it doesn't have a wave feature. When it was open I was like, oh yeah, you only have thumb disc to deploy it. Well, it's an Emerson design, so it has this. Now this works pretty well out of the pocket. Essentially what the wave does is it catches the inside hem of your pocket as you pull the knife out of your pocket. This catches, pulls, and deploys the knife, so as you pull it out of the pocket, it's pretty much ready to go in your hand. So very easy to deploy, one-handed. You can close it one-handed. It closes like that. It's on nylon washers, so it's pretty slow and deliberate. It's not going to fly out of your hand. The detent is crispy enough, but not too crispy, and I have this tightened down to where the blade does not just fly out at will. Closing is easy. Your lockup is late at over 60%. So I've had a few of these, spoiler alert, and every one that I've had with the sample size of 2, they've both been like this. The other one I had a little bit of lock rock, so I immediately got rid of that, and I specified that it had lock rock before I sold it, because that's really shady to do that if you sell it and don't disclose those things. So this one came to me centered. It's pretty good. I got this on the secondary market as it's been discontinued for a little while. The action is great. Closing is easy. It's pretty much a large fidget monster. Wave works well. It hides when you deploy it. So that brings us to the design. Well, it's an Emerson design, so it looks pretty damn cool. This is one of the more ergonomic designs from Emerson, and this thing feels like a robust, no-nonsense, get-things-done type of knife. Thumb disc is attractive. You can take it off if you don't like it, although I don't know how you would deploy it other than the wave feature. The blade is attractive. It is a recurve. It is sharp. It has a nice swedge right here. This is very reminiscent of his Super Commander and Commander series. I've had a few of those. I think all in all I've had probably 5 or 6 actual Emerson knives, and we'll talk about how they compare to this later on. But I think as far as design is concerned, pretty much spot on Emerson design. Looks attractive, looks like it could get things done. You have some nice texture on the G10. It's knocked down. I will say that I would prefer if the show side handle thickness, overall thickness, would be the same as the back. I don't like it lopsided. And if you go here and you go that, you got 0.16 of an inch, and back here you got 0.10. I like the thickness to be the same on both sides. So that's just a pet peeve of mine. That's one thing I dislike about knives, when they have, you know, this side's not as thick as this side. And one thing, if you get a Hinderer knife, the scale and the liner is as thick as the titanium frame lock. So they're symmetrical as far as, you know, dimensions are concerned. So that's the only thing that bothers me about this knife, the design of this knife. I like the fact that the wave feature is hidden when the knife is deployed. It looks cool. I like the fact that they went ahead and they threw a spot on there for lefties. I like that everything's knocked down. There's no sharp edges. They do have a lanyard hole, but it does take precedence over the pocket clip, which it shouldn't. All in all, it's pretty good. There's no sharp edges. As I said, everything's knocked down. Your blade to handle ratio is not great. I mean, you could put 1/4 of an inch more blade on there, but you would not have the handle rounded off the way you did. So you could have more blade for sure if you went by this, but as far as this dimension, it's probably pretty good. The grind on this is sharp. However, if you look from one side to the other, it is not that even. This side has a little less than this side. It's close, but it's not quite there. As I said, I picked this up on the secondary market in like new condition, and this was not sharpened previously. So, ergonomics are outstanding. The carry weight, you know, this thing takes up a bunch of room in your pocket. It is large, it is heavy. I think the carry weight is about average. You know, it's heavy, but it's a big knife. It's meant to be a big knife. So if you're buying one of these and you look up the dimensions and the weight, and then you're upset afterwards that it weighs too much in your pocket, well, I mean, you kind of know what you're getting. So, fit and hot spots, none. This is all knocked down, that's knocked down. Even in here, the cut for the frame lock, it's pretty knocked down, so not really sharp. Pocket clip has some edges on it, but in the hand, you don't really feel it. Your reverse grip is just about outstanding, whereas your middle finger will rest right in here. So holding it like this, your thumb rests right here naturally. You could put it on that point, but it's It's not sharp, so it's not a big deal. Push cuts would be relatively easy, although you do feel this edginess right here on the back of your finger. All in all, pretty decent. It's got pretty decent slicey performance. I'm not sure. I think this is a hollow grind, but I'm not sure. I'm not a grind or geometry expert, but it looks like it's a hollow grind, and it slices really good. So, all in all, pretty decent on the ergos. All right, so do you want one? Well, if you want one, you're going to have to look up this model number, because this is the model number for it. CQC9K. This is the box that most Kershaws come in, including the more expensive automatic ones. They just come in a box like this, and that's it. So if you're going to buy this knife for work, you're going to toss this out anyways. So that's good. The packaging is minimal. I think the price is okay. I could not find any of these what they actually went for new. And on the secondary market, these range all over the place. And eBay is about the only place I found to buy this. Now, I have purchased one of these off eBay. I have purchased one of these off Blade Binge. And everything on that is cool as far as, you know, buying the knife was the same experience, no big deal, but I will say that Blade Binge, the price was a little bit better. eBay, they charge astronomical prices for some of these. They seem to think that these, because they're discontinued, they're automatically worth 2 or 3 times what they went for new. You know, this is a Chinese-made knife. It's not worth $150. Yeah, they're a little more rare. They're not out there as much, but, you know, if you can't swing a real Emerson, getting this is pretty close. So, we went through all that. Now, we'll talk about how true this is to an actual Emerson. Well, an Emerson has titanium liners, G10 on the outside, most of the time. Every one that I had titanium liners. All of them had a little bit of lock stick. Now, there's a reason for that. That knife has lock stick because it's meant to stay open in your hand and keep working. It's not meant to be a super easy to close, fidget-friendly, you know, goof-around knife. Emerson knives are made for a purpose. They are made to get things done. Now, they can be a little bit expensive. Not terribly expensive, given the fact that they are 100% made in the United States with good materials. And, you know, they're relatively available. Some of the other ones that have been discontinued or are more collectible, they are, of course, more expensive. But when you buy a new one, they're not terribly expensive. They are a premium knife. They are expensive, but they're not, you know, they're not $500. So, this holds pretty true to an Emerson in form and function. I like the fact that this does not have lock stick. I have this pivot tightened down pretty tight. I don't want it to fly closed. I don't want it to fly open. You know, it's good enough for what it is. I have several of the Emerson design Kershaws, and I think they do a pretty good job. And I bought it twice. I liked it, I got rid of it, and I was like, I need another one of those. So I went ahead and sprung for another one. Anyways, that is going to do it for me today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments. If you like this video, leave it a like and subscribe to see more. Thank you for watching, everybody, and as always, have knife day.